Hey there. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. It's for those of us in the U.S. It's the last Friday before Independence Day, so that's exciting. And so yeah, it's going to be a good holiday weekend. It's got a weird Monday in between the weekend and the holiday, so most likely a lot of people are going to be taking that day off. If you are one of those, enjoy yourselves. Be safe out there. Don't blow any fingers off. Be safe with those fireworks. So. We are going to be talking about Workout Wednesday. That's why we're here, right? So, Workout Wednesday 2023, week 26. We're halfway through the year. That's craziness. That's wild. I can't believe we're already halfway through the year. So, let's take a. Hey there, Tim. How are you? It's good to hear from you. Appreciate it as always. Let's see here. Let's go take a look at what we're dealing with today. So, we've got a Luke Stanky challenge. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to learn a lot. There's going to be a lot of steps to it. It's going to be deceivingly simple, right? It's going to seem hard. We're going to try and make it harder than it is, but then the actual solution is actually pretty easy. So that's usually how things go. So we're looking at Antarctic sea ice and the National Snow and Ice Data Center is pretty amazing. If you've never taken a look at this data, it basically tracks the extent of Antarctic sea ice, throughout the year, so you can see how things are going in regards to sea ice. As you know, climate change is happening. Sea ice is dwindling. Oceans are getting warmer. Ice is melting. Bad news bears, right? So. It's a really interesting data set. It allows us to do a lot of really cool, fun stuff. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. We're going to be essentially remaking this chart with a few tweaks to it, right? Not an exact replica. It's going to be a Luke Stanky replica. So this is what we're going to be building. So let's go ahead and jump into what that's going to look like here. And I'll view it on Tableau Public. Nope, I won't. All right, so we've got this. It's a 7-day rolling average so 7-day rolling average versus the 7-day historical. Okay, so the lighter lines represent the 7-day rolling average by year, and the darker, wider lines represent the 7-day rolling average by decade versus 2023. And it shows the number. It shows basically the number of millions of square meters of Antarctic sea ice, right? So this is what we're going to build. So let's take a look at what we're going to be, some of the requirements. 1 sheet, 1 legend, 1 text box. Create a line chart, calculated. We've got darker lines on the chart, color-coded by 2023, and then all the other years' decades. And then we do some formatting, match formatting, and tooltips. All right. So that's what we're going to do. You ready? Let's go do it. All right. So first thing we need to do is we need to go get the data source. Again. Yep. And I don't know what that is. So let's go here and let's go here and let's export. Let's download as a CSV. There we go. Now we can jump into Tableau, connect to a text file. Go to our downloads, go to Antarctic sea ice, and there we go, right? So it's very simple. It's just date and sea ice, right? So we've got year, month, day, and then we've got the area, which is 10 to the exponent of 6, which is million. So 1 million, so million square meters, right? So that's what this is showing you. So 17.62 is 17.62 million meters square meters. So the first thing I can see here is we need to convert these 3 columns into a date. So what I'm going to do right here, if you didn't know you could do this in the data window, you can create calculated fields based off of this. So let's go ahead and we'll do the we'll just call this date, and it'll be a make date function, and we'll do the year, we'll do the month, we'll do the day, close our parentheses, and there we go, right? And that's going to turn it into a date. Tableau recognizes that as a date, and we're off and good. Now, so let's go ahead and go to our sheet. Now, if you've ever, so essentially, if we go back here, January 1 is right here, December 31st is right here, and then all of the years are different lines. So we're going to be analyzing dates throughout the year. So what we're doing is we're doing an index chart, right? So this is a very powerful way of showing dates over time for multiple years. It's a really great way to do it. So what we need to do is we need to create a normalized date. Lots of different ways to do this. I'll just call this norm date. And what we'll do is, again, another make date. And the year just needs to be anything, literally anything. So I'm going to go 1900. And then the month is going to be month. And the year is going to be year. Now I'm going to take that and put that there. Year of normalized date. Actually, it's going to go here. It's going to go exact date. All right, so we have 300 and that's why. There we go. That was weird. I didn't set up the calculation right. So 1900 is the year. So essentially, so now you can see that. So what's that? I think the best way to do this is to put this on a, we're going to create a crosstab. So we'll create a discrete continuous or discrete exact date. So you can see here 1991 or all of that, right? And then we'll throw year out on columns, and we'll make that discrete. And you can see that before, you can see they did it every other day here for a while, right? So let's just, for the sake of doing this chart, let's just do everything. Let's just filter this. Actually, we'll go over here, filter to at least 1989. Just for the sake of building this chart out. Okay. Now, what we can do from here is, so if we just bring sum of area, and then we'll do an average of this. So this is, so 7.08 is the overall average of every January 1st. Right? So what we need to do off of this is we need to create a, we essentially need to do a moving average of this. No, this is actually the moving average of the average, or a moving average of the sum. Alright, we'll just do this. Alright, let's go back and see what it says. 7-day rolling average. Okay. Versus 7-day rolling historical. Okay. All right. Okay. Here, we can just go down here and see it. There we go. Okay. So if I change this to sum, what does it show me? Oh, it doesn't change. Interesting. Huh. Okay. All right. So then we'll do a moving average. So we'll go to quick table calculation, moving average. We'll do our edit table calculation. Oh, that's right. That makes sense. Okay, so this... Okay. The reason why it's not changing is because this January 1st is related to 1989, right? Now, if I were to remove year, right, that's where that's the sum and then the average. But what we actually need to do, we'll do edit table calculation, and we actually want the previous 7 days. So we'll do 6. Keep the current value. Use the current value, and then we'll actually want to do on normalized date. Right? So we want it going down, and we want to specify this because when you're building table calculations, there's 2 ways to do it. One, you can use the compute using, and you can select the direction, right? You can do across, down, then down, then across, cell, or specific. If you use specific when you're building out your charts as a cross tab first, like right now what I'm doing is I'm basically doing right? What I'm doing is I'm validating the data as I do it. Is that changing? It's not changing. Is it? Cross, down. Okay. All right. Anyway. Yeah. Norm date. That's right. That's what I got. Okay. So we got the previous 7 days here. What I'm saying, finish my thought. If you specify your dimensions in this dialog right here, as opposed to doing table down, table cross, or whatever, as you start to change and manipulate this view into a chart, as opposed to just a crosstab, if you do specific dimensions, those will carry through as you build different, because right now we have norm date on rows, right? But later on we're going to change this, and norm date is going to be our columns. And then it's going to be going across, right? So we would have to go through all of our calculations and change them all to across. Or we can just say, just do it by norm date, and we'll be good to go. Okay? And then, all right, so then what we need to do is we need to do the let's see here. What do we need to do now? Hey, there, I see you there, Luke. All right. So we've got our moving average. I just want to make sure this is working. If we change this, yeah. So you can see here, obviously it's going to make sense, right? It makes sense that the first seven values don't change because there's nothing to do before that, right? All right. So we'll go back to discrete. So there we have our numbers. Now, what we need to do, I think, if we go back and look at this, seven-day rolling average. 7-day rolling average is this. That's what that is. versus the 7-day rolling historical. Okay. And I think what I'll also do is drag this in here, create a calculation, and I'll call this the 7-day rolling average. First thing I need to do is take the what am I trying to do here? So for each, I'm thinking I'm going to have to do a level of detail calculation, and then on top of that do a moving average of that fixed calculation to get the comparison, right? And then I think what needs to happen is I need to have, so essentially what needs to happen is I need a value that is the overall average based on norm date for all of the January 1sts. Because then, right, so every, yeah. So let's build that. So what's that's going to look like? That's going to look like a fixed norm date. For each norm date, take the sum of area and this will be, and then I'll just go ahead and wrap this in a, you know, sum that, and this is the for each norm date. So what is this? This is going to be the norm date if I do average, that's going to take the, so the norm date is going to, right? All right, let's do norm date average. Let me just start making some stuff here. No, I want measure names here. There we go. All right, so that's not what I want because it's weird. So let's do let's remove this aggregation. Okay, and then some. Okay, so there we go. Yeah. So we need to do for each norm date, what is, so for each January 1st, what is the average across all of that? And then the reason I put that is because I didn't want to have an error, right? I didn't want to have this was mixed up because right here it says aggregated, and then I removed the sum, and then it wasn't aggregated, and then Tableau got mad at me. So if I just wrapped it in a sum, that would be fine. Okay, so now, so that's the norm date average. And you can see here, and this is working, right? You can see that I've got the same value across every day, every year for that day, right? So for every January 1st, the overall average across January 1sts is 6.86, right? But we're not done yet because now we need to layer on top of that another 7-day rolling average. So we can do duplicate, edit, and this is rolling average historical. And what we'll do is we'll just, inside of here, we'll just do the norm date average. Going back, and it should be 6. 6, going back 6 with 0 to include the number. And it doesn't like that because of that, so we'll remove that, and there we go. Click OK there. Make sure this is right. Edit. This needs to be 6. 6 plus the 0 makes it 7. There we go. Okay. So now you can see we've got 6.86. All right. So, 7-day rolling average. Yeah. Okay. 7-day rolling average, and I still have my 6.86 across, going across, right? So now we just need to take the difference between those, and this is the variance. This will be the historical variance. Well, this is the yearly variance compared to historical. Yes, Jordan. The reason for that is because, and I can see that there's a little bit of delay. So yes, and that's okay. Yes, Tableau's index starts at 0. So, yes, it is database indexing. Okay, so we do that, and so yes, 6 plus the 0 is equal to 7. All right, so and then we just do, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to do the, what is our, so we have norm date, 7-day rolling historical, so we'll add that in there. And you can start to see those change, right? And you can still see across the year I've got the same thing, right? So 6.47. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number and subtract this number. And that's going to be yearly average compared to historical. And we'll say we'll take the 7-day rolling average historical, and we will subtract the rolling day average. Click OK there. Let's see how we're doing here. Add that in. So let's just double check our math here, right? So 7.08 minus 6.8, or yeah, 6.86 minus 708, negative 22. Now I think we are ready to build a chart out of this. We'll get the first part. And we'll keep this, so let's duplicate. And then we're going to do some fancy stuff here. Do we need to keep in those? Does he say anything about leaving those dates out at a 90%? Nope. Or before 1989? No. Okay. So first thing, we'll remove year. That changes things though. 6.86, 6.86. Yep, okay. 7. why did that happen? Eight six, 86, 86, 86. But whenever I bring that back in, well, let's just look at, let's go back. Let's highlight that and so 89, 1989, 6.86. Okay, that one's, oh, well, no. Oh, yeah. That would make sense, right? Like, the reason that these are all the same, but these are different is because, like, because we're going down the year, right? 510 is just where we start, right? But here, because we have multiple days before it, that's why this is different. And then, but it's, yeah. All right, so that makes sense. I talked myself into that one. Okay. Whew. Okay, so we did that. Now we'll take year and we'll put it on detail. It's gonna look really weird for a while. We'll take that. We'll do norm date. We'll take measure names off here. Nope, measure names off here. We'll take year. We've got norm date up on top. We've got exact date continuous. So we get that, and then we take year. Nope, year's already there. Norm date, we'll do the 7-day rolling average. We'll take the yearly. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Okay. Look at that really big dip right there. That's interesting. All right, let's highlight year. 2023 is right there. Okay, so we know that that's wrong. It's right. So I think what we need to do is we need to essentially flip this. We need to flip our yearly comparison, right? So the shape of that is, I mean, it's just inverted, right? So we'll just take the 7-day rolling average minus the historical. And that flips everything, and that's right there, right? That's great. So what we're going to do now is we need to figure out how to do our decades. There's lots of different ways to do it. My way is I like to do it with just, I mean, there are so many different ways to calculate decades. So it is what it is, right? So what we're going to do is we'll call this decades plus 2023. And we'll say if year equals 2023, then string year, else we will do the first we need to convert year into a string. Then we are going to take the mid of string. We're going to go three places. We're going to go 3 places. Take that one. Or actually, don't even need that. We'll do right. We'll take the right 2 plus S. End. But that's not going to get us all the way there because we have multiple on there. So let's just Leave that there. Let's create a new sheet, and we'll do, oh yeah, I do need to change that. So decades plus 2023 is actually going to be not 2. It does need to be min or mid. 3-3, 1 plus 0. Bingo. But that's not enough because we have the 1900s, right? So now we also need to say else if year is mid. Again, there are multiple ways to do this. I'm sure there's probably a better, more efficient way to do it, but this is the way that works for me, so it's what we're going to do. So if the year is less than, is less than 2000, then 19 plus that, and then I'll just copy this, else 20. That's greater than, so that's not going to work. Let's put the right operator on there. All right, there we go. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, and then 2023. Now the good thing is that you do this first. All right, since I did this first, 2023 will not be included in the 2020s. So there we go. All right. Now, let's see. So we need to put that decade on color. Put that all the way down. And he said 30% opacity. Yep. Okay. Colored by decade. Yep. Okay. But now we need to show the overall decade average. And so I think what we can do for that, so we've got decades. If I put that there, right, and the reason that's not working is because, so I just need to do, well, let's do decades. Let's put year here. Let's make it discrete. That doesn't seem right. Okay, so essentially what I need to do is I need to create a dual axis with a measure, and I need to be able to take the, okay, let's go back and do this. So let's go recreate what we had. So we had norm date here, exact date, make this discrete, put that back over here, and actually this goes here, and then year goes here. Yep, find discrete, there we go, but this, yep, yep, yeah, that's the way I want it. And then we had the 7-day rolling average. But now what I need to do is have the norm date average. And that's going to be okay, so let's just rebuild what I had here. So I had this, I've got, that's a 7-day, that's the historical. Measure names goes here. Everything is down. And then I need to, so we have the average, we have the, what's this norm date average? Well, let's just keep this. Keep only, there we go. That way when I add things, things aren't changing. Okay, so we have that, which changes, we have, well, yeah, norm date. So that's so then is it it's the norm date average. Yeah. So for each, what about like I'm probably overcomplicating this, but like, what if I did like a sum of include norm date average of area and close that. Calculation 2, this is decade test. Nope. Because what I want for the decade is to be the overall average of so that's just the same. Let's see. Oh, no. Well, let's just see. Let's fixed on decade plus 2023 average. Okay, so that's 11.6. And hopefully if I remove this, it will show me 11.9 for this. Okay, so 79. Okay, so 11.99 for just the 70s. So let's see if 78 also has 11.99. It does, okay. And then the 80s are 11.6. Yep. And then we have the 90s is also at 11.6. And then everything else is 11.6. Well, 2000s. 1990s. Okay. So if I remove year, 11.8, 11.7, 11.3. But let's go back and look at what number we're trying to get. Come on. 1990s. 0.59. Okay, that's not quite right. Because this is okay. So we have all right, what is the norm date? Let's see here. Let's put year back on here. Let's look at this again. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Okay, is it, do I need to do like a nested thing? Like a, like this is the norm date average. And then do the average here. Whoa, that really didn't work. Right, because that would be the, so for each decade, yeah. Okay. Because yeah, if I do the, okay, let's look at this again here. Highest extent is calculated by estimating the 7-day rolling average temperatures, including the selected date, and comparing that to the 7-day rolling global average of that particular day and month of the year. Yeah. So then are we just like, oh, okay. I think I'm making this too difficult here. Because really what's happening here, if we go back to the 90s, is I need to have essentially the well, how do I do this? Because I've got to have I know that this 11.6 is not right. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. So for each decade, yeah, okay. So that is, so what did we do? Because what we did is we said, okay, is it? Okay. So what this is saying is, so let's go look at January 1st, 1990. And it should be like January 1st, 1990. 97, 93, 90. Oh, let's just keep only 7, 8, 3, 99, 92, 94, 90. It's 0.091. So essentially what we need to do here, okay, so what this is doing, what this decade line is basically going to be the average of that. It's going to be the average of these values, right? So the average of those values is just like which is going to be, and that is about probably going to be right. So let's do decade test. Oh, that was, yeah, decade average. And then this will duplicate this, and it will be the decade 7-day rolling average minus the 7-day. This is the decade test. Click apply. Bring that out, and hopefully it's. Well, no, that's not right. All right, Jack says, I don't think your decade rolling should be the same for every date. I think the intention of what is the average of all the July 1sts? Okay. All right, so Jack says fixed on decade, month, and day, average of oh, you think I have it now? Oh, the historical. Nope, that didn't change anything. Oh, now I gotta bring it back in. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, so the decade average is you want decade minus historical. Oh. There it is. Let's see. So now I have that. So let's go see what that looks like when I pull that in as my and let's go here. I'm not so sure, but we'll see. We'll go here, match it up, synchronize, and let's take what? Yeah, take that off. And let's go down here. Let's take this off. So, whoa, that looks wonky. Oh, it's not measure names. But what is that? What's happening right there? What is that? What on earth is that? The 80s. Oh, is that because of the... That's because I'm missing dates, right? Okay, so we don't have the 70s in there. So let's filter that. Edit data sources filters. Yeah, they went every other day in the 70s, that's right. So let's just filter this to non-null numbers. And then we'll do this, we'll do decades here. And we'll go here and we'll bump up the size. Bump up the opacity again. Yeah, something ain't right. It's like this is way smoother too. Yeah, I've messed something up here. Okay. That's all right. We'll figure this out. I've got... All right. Let's do... All right, where did I mess up here? So I've got the 7-day rolling average. All right, so this is what that is. I've got the 7-day rolling average going down for norm date. All right, we know that that's right. So the 7-day rolling average is good. We also know that the 7-day historical moving average is good because we have that. And so the norm date that. So, oh, is that changing? No, surely not, right? So he's got, oh. I want that one. Show me that one. There we go. All right. January 29th in the 90s was 0.08. January 29th. Yeah, see, this ain't right. So okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's gonna mess things up. Let's not do that. All right, let's get that one number right. So the decade average. Month and day. That's the same number. Okay. And then do I need a rolling? Oh, I need to do, well, right? I think I need to do a 7-day, well, it'll be window average of the decade average, 60, -60. Calculation 2, what's that gonna look like? The 90s. Calculation 2 is going to be everything else went away. That's not good. Why did that happen? This is part of the fun, right? Pull that back off. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. All right. It's better, but not. Actually, is that it? No, because I still have this weird wonky. The 80s really jacked things up, man. All right. Let's do this. Let's do consult the expert here. Make date. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Doing that, yep. Window average of the average. Okay. Average for the date normalized average. Yep. And then we do that. Average for date. Yep. We did that. Decades, she's got a decade in there. Yep. And then she does that. Yep. We don't need any further calculations. What? Okay, so let's remove that. Yeah, norm date. Oh. Kinda. But it still gets weird. Still gets weird at the tail end there. Oh. Oh, that's right. Use this one. Whoa. Tableau broke and made art. Good. And add actual date. And then we do if you're still tuned in, I appreciate it. Just trying to figure out how this is working. How this is not working, I should say. Okay, so if I take this here, I take this here, I take this here, and make it continuous, I get that, which is closer. Okay. But I still get these little bumps in here. Oh wait, decade average. Let's moving average. Yeah, good. Average per date. Yeah. And then we have a historical. Yep. And then we have this. 7 day minus the historical, yep. Alright, so date, nope, norm date, exact date, discrete. Decade. window average of average. Okay, that's it. There it is. No. There's that. Okay, but I still get those wonky lines. It's all right. We're getting there. Okay. Norm date. Norm date. Norm date. Okay. Fixed date normalize. Yep. Average wrapped in a sum, which means when I go here, I have the window average of the sum of average date. Yep. All right, let's look at. Oh no, I know that's right, because here we have year detail. Oh. We're going to remove the 70s. I thought we did that. Oh, no. Add. Decades. 70s. Okay. But now I've got this weird thing in the 80s. I'll figure this out. I'll post a better video of me actually knowing how to do it, and then we'll talk about it there. So this one got me. You know, we don't win them all, and that's okay. That's why I do these live streams, because it's okay to see people fail, right? It's okay to fail, and it's okay to be vulnerable, right? So anyway, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching. As always, what it says on there. We are Data People. I'm Hipster Viz Ninja. Go forth and viz. See you next week.